Man. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't want to talk about this fucking piece of shit. Fucking Bird Box. How are we still talking about this? A movie whose value is only pushed by the number of people seeing it. And being the fool that I am, I too was tricked into wasting 2 hours of my life on a worthless tale about... About what exactly? A massive outbreak of suicides hit Europe. No one knows why. It spreads to the States. Sandra Bullock is pregnant and paints in her free time to cope with loneliness. Her sister is Sarah Paulson. They don't stop talking about horses. While at the hospital, people start going crazy. A woman in a brightly colored jacket smashes her face into the glass. Paulson sees something while driving them to safety, and, after crashing, walks into an oncoming car to kill herself. Bullock stumbles around in empty shock. Everyone around her is in panic. Everything is on fire. A lone baby stroller rolls into the street in some worthless wink at Battleship Potemkin. Bullock ends up safe in some house with John Malkovich, and some randoms who also manage to get inside. What's clear is this: if they open their eyes outside, they will die. We don't see what they see, and we hear strange whispers when whatever it is that's outside comes to take hold of them. So stay inside. Cover the windows. Blindfold everyone. Oh, and keep birds around. Birds know everything. One of the people trapped in the house with them is Charlie, a grocery store employee who also knows everything. How does he know so much? Why, because he's writing a novel about the end of the world. And he's played by Lil Rel Howery, the same great actor who was everyone's favorite TSA agent in Get Out. If only the film paid half as much attention to its story as it did for Charlie. Sorry about that great shirt. I'm about to go to work, and I'm still wasting my time with Bird Box. They should just fucking fire me, man. Then there's Tom, played by the actor in the third part of Moonlight, Bullock's love interest. Malkovich is an angry, drunken neighbor of the person who owns the house they are trapped in. There's some ludicrous lines about how he's currently suing them for changes they were making to their house. Because I have to see it. Oh, the owner of the house is gay. And married. This is as close to political statements as we're going to get, people. Because I have to see it. He's gay. Married. It was bad. A trip to the grocery store. In a blacked out car. The GPS tells them where to go. You tell me how the roads are so clear in a post-apocalyptic tale. They run over one body? And maybe tap into some pillar. The realism is astounding. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Have any of you even seen a post-apocalyptic movie or anything on the news when there's panic in the streets? You can't get out of your fucking driveway in that kind of fucking climate. And I'm just supposed to magically believe, oh, the GPS is telling me where to steer, turn. Motherfucker, a 1 mile trip to the grocery store would probably take hours of veering around all the debris out there. Oh, it's just so stupid. They make it there in like 5 minutes. Oh my god. The movie begins 5 years into the future, where Bullock is with 2 children and preparing to row them down the river to a parent's safety. And the screenwriter makes the giant mistake of cutting back and forth between the initial outbreak and the future. You know everything that's gonna happen in this movie in the first 5 minutes! And if you didn't know, then Gary comes in to help you. You see how bad this movie is? I went live on Facebook to destroy it. I never go live. Me! Live! Death or the devil, or any iteration of some demonic evil, often manifests itself into physical characters in movies and shows. In the very best, it's an effective way to make me awesome. In the very best, it's an effective way to drive the story, and can be awesomely offsetting. In Bergman's Seventh Seal, we have an actor playing death. In Taxi Driver, we have Scorsese himself as a passenger of Travis Bickles, possibly representing all the deep and dark, horrible thoughts inside Travis's mind. He could be Satan or the devil, just some form of evil. And then in Cloud Atlas, we have Hugo Weaving as, oh, Georgie. And in Bird Box, we have Gary. An older man who was let into the house by a pregnant woman, not Bullock, in almost secret and against the wishes of Malkovich. Gary may be one of the worst actors of all time. Immediately, as what's left of the runtime is dwindling, we know Gary is evil. And that everyone except Bullock and the kids will die. That is no spoiler. That is bad writing. And what a perfect embodiment of everything that is wrong with this movie. Where it could be profound, it turns to stupid cliches. Almost, the movie has something to say. It almost has something to say, because Gary talks about the creatures from the Underwood, an insane asylum, whose inhabitants are immune to the visions and sounds driving everyone crazy. Because they are already crazy? But we can't get too deep on such a complex issue. Gary has to kill everyone. Because people want a bad guy, and someone to root against. And how else to accelerate the plot than to have someone come along and open all the windows and stab everyone with scissors? And why exactly doesn't Tom grab that gun? The moment Malkovich tells him Gary put the birds in the freezer. The lamest contrivances. The most boring circumstances. This is a horribly stupid movie. And worse, it didn't have to be. There's no way those birds make it alive out of the rapids. There's just no way. And if Gary is the devil, then Rick must be God. Oh yes. A divinely kind voice of intervention on a radio that hasn't worked in 5 years. Promising freedom and safety. I guess the birds are supposed to be a wink at the grand illusion. And those mentally ill people driving around them in circles told me the idiots who made this movie wanted to think they were as clever as Robert Matheson for I Am Legend, which may be the greatest book ever written. The I Am Legend movie has nothing to do with the I Am Legend book. I'm referencing the book here, people, not the Will Smith movie. The book. And Bird Box might be winking at Robert Neville's fate at the end of it. And how painful it was for me to see it. And the ending with Bullock and the kids being almost tricked into taking off their blindfolds goes on and on and on. Who thought for a second they were gonna kill kids in this movie? It's just so bad. Just pure audience manipulation, man. And where Rick is might be the most unintentionally stupid reveal we could have gotten. And Rick's boldness just told me they wanted to give us some Charles Xavier vibes. Except the X-Men are now all blind. And Bullock looks up at the end in a similar way to Julianne Moore in the concluding shots of Blindness, which was also a despicable movie based on Saramago's good book. Are they ever gonna get it right where people are blind in a movie and it just doesn't fucking suck dick? Like, is it ever gonna happen? It's just painful. This is a waste of your time. What is it that people see and hear that's making them kill themselves? Some theories online speculate it's about the dangers of social media. I say you're all idiots to even have thought past the end credits. This movie, like the stories that Tom tells Bullock, and then the kids, is an empty parable. Any worthwhile message has been thrown out the window for dumb and boring cliches and superficial melodrama. The story in Afghanistan where he's walking that family to school and then when he climbs the tree and he just sees a bird nest, they go nowhere! Just like this fucking movie goes nowhere! The stories he was telling represent the story of Bird Box! Nowhere! Nothing! This isn't the Bird Box, this is the fucking shit box. The shit box. You know what? Hold on. Here it is. That's what you just witnessed. That's what it is. That's what you have to go through. So, fucking Netflix. Usually you guys are good, but haha. Yeah, I just fuck. This is it. This is as big as you're gonna get. So enjoy it. Why did I see this movie? Well, to paraphrase a great artist, had to see your movie to destroy it. Machine Gun Kelly is in this. Oh man, if Killshot didn't end his career, Bird Box will bury it. Machine Gun Kelly is in this fucking movie as a fucking actor. Tatted up mumble rapper. There's that book, The King in Yellow, written by Robert Chambers, which contained short stories about people who read a play by the same name and were driven insane by it. The serial killer in the first season of True Detective was named after it. Yellow King, and it ended up inspiring both Lovecraft and Stephen King. I'd like to think the characters in Bird Box had seen Bird Box, and were left with no choice but to kill themselves. The best character in this movie dies at the very beginning, or, I mean, very quickly into the movie. I mean, Charlie was so good, and just, he fucking kills himself by diving to save them in the grocery store, like... He didn't need to do that. Initially, I thought that he was seeing the images and was being driven insane, but no, he was just saving them. He was totally sane. And that was just such a stupid death scene. The School for the Blind. I just can't... I couldn't have made up something that stupid if you paid me. Like, Where were all the blind people this whole time? You know, they didn't encounter any blind people in the streets anywhere. You know how much more interesting that would be if they had a guide or somebody who was blind their whole life and now this is their territory, and it would have just been so cool. And just all the blind people are in one building at the end. It's just, it almost felt offensive, like, not, you know, offensively stupid. Just, I was just being insulted by watching this movie. It's just, you know, I heard from people that the book was way better, that a lot of the characters in it intentionally blinded themselves to be, you know, immune from this. Like, that wasn't in the movie at all. That would have been awesome if they actually had characters blinding themselves intentionally so they wouldn't have to worry about being driven to suicide. No, it's too good. Of course you're not going to keep that in the fucking movie, so you know it's not going to be in there. It was too awesome for them to keep it in there. Too awesome. Fucking idiots. We'll just blind ourselves right now. Just, you know...
Stand, son, listen, man, dad isn't mad, but how you gonna name yourself after a damn gun and have a man bun?